Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. It's your boy JJ Columbia here with my boy Riku.
Yo, what's up everyone? Hope everyone's having a great Thanksgiving.
Alright, hopefully we won't have any audio issues this time, but I'm pretty sure we figured that out. This time we're going to be continuing looking around Jubilife City while also training our newest team members. Our first stop today is actually our objective, which is in the trainer school. Some pretty standard stuff here, with the school essentially being where you get some information on status effects, which we'll see on the board here in a minute. Poison is one of the status effects that's going to show up here. It makes you take damage every turn, and there's also the badly poisoned status, which increases the poison damage as well. Those are pretty deadly status effects, but we won't get into them too much in the early game. We'll see them later on though. Next is Paralysis, which we actually have gone over in the previous episode. It halves your speed and it can prevent you from attacking sometimes. It's one of the more annoying statuses for sure. Sleep makes you vulnerable unless you have some moves like Sleep Talk or Snore, and it can be useful if you use it to your advantage. Burn cuts your attack in half and deals damage every turn, and Frozen makes you completely unable to do anything unless you use a fire type move, or if they use a fire attack on you. There are items that can heal all these statuses, but they're pretty important to be aware of, especially with paralysis and it being so common in the early game. Riku, God, I can't even talk. Riku, have you dealt with any of these statuses? And if obviously you have, but which of these would you say is like the most annoying?
The most annoying one for me, originally when I first started playing Pokemon, I would have said Poison, but after progressively playing through the game, in my opinion, the most annoying thing to deal with is Paralysis.
Most definitely.
You have no way to get unparalyzed unless you use a paralyzed heal or you have like a shed kit or something like that. But Poison, you can deal with that shit, you know what I'm saying? You can still move. When you're frozen, it immobilizes you, but if you have Skull, doesn't that thaw?
Yeah, any fire type move that you use will thaw you out, and I believe Scald does as well. If they use an attack on you that's fire or does that like Scald, then you're also free, but you take damage.
But when it comes to Paralysis, it's either you can't move for shit, or you're slowed so drastically. So Paralysis is the worst.
Now before we talk to Rappel, as you're seeing now, there are actually two trainers you can battle over here to the right of the trainer school. Both of these trainers here have an Abra that used to have hidden power in the old games, but that attack is actually not available anymore except to one specific Pokemon, which is unknown. And because of that, I was actually curious to see how they handled this in these games. And as you can see here, they actually know Charge Beam, which is actually pretty dangerous for this point in the game. Abra has a really high special attack stat, and they gave it a move that increases its special attack even higher, so it can be really dangerous. So it's good to have a grass type like Badoo or Turtwig ready, or Shinx as well, since they resist Charge Beam. Thankfully, my Kricketot here knows Struggle Bug, which lowers special attack every time it hits them, so it does counter that special attack raise. Now that the first battle is done though, you can go back and heal, even though you have a ton of potions for this point of the game. I don't know why I don't use them. It might just be because I'm used to using Pokemon Center and I'm used to having not this many potions at this point in the game without buying them. And even they give you a ton of money too, but I'm just really not used to it. Like seriously, $8,000 and like 12 potions at this point of the game is insane. This is
that's great.
That's stuff you would get like around 2nd or even 3rd gen.
But not this game.
This game they spoil you. This second fight here is pretty much the same as the first, with another Abra that has Charge Beam. This time though, I decided to start off with my Badoo, since she resists Charge Beam. And the one problem is that Badoo only has Absorb, and Abra actually has pretty good special defense, along with its high special attack. So I won't be doing too much in return, unfortunately. So this battle does end up taking a little bit of a while, but I feel like it was worth it just to get some experience on Badoo. Because there are a few trainers to the north, but I want to save those for when you actually go through that area, which you can do at this point, but I wanted to save it until I actually show it off. So I'm pretty sure Riku here is going to show it off on his own display when he gets that shiny Turtwig.
Yeah, whatever that is. Press D5, don't mind.
Day 5 as of the time that's recording. Now, we already did talk about our team a little bit in the previous episode, but unfortunately the viewers didn't hear it. However, we both know one Pokemon that Riku is gonna use, but I'm gonna say this to Riku right now. I feel like if that Pokemon that we were talking about was not available, you would use one of the Pokemon that you can use up to the north. For sure. Not in the route. Not in the route, but in this one or two in a specific area there. Another important thing you need to watch out for in this battle is right here I use Stun Spore for two reasons. One, I wanted to slow it down because Aber does outspeed me, and the second reason is because I wanted to see if it has this ability here, which is Synchronize. Synchronize is an ability that makes it so if you inflict an opponent with a status infliction, that status actually gets transferred to you over as well. So it can be useful in the right situation, but it can also be a hindrance as well. Synchronize also has an effect outside of battle that makes it so whatever nature you have, if that Pokemon with Synchronize is in the lead, you have a higher chance of meeting a Pokemon in the wild that has that exact same nature, which can be useful for stuff like shiny hunting or finding a new team member, but it's not really something I'll be using this playthrough. This battle here is almost over, so just give a little more. Riku, do you plan on using Abra actually, since you're rattling one right now? Is that on your radar?
No, honestly, I'm not planning to use an Abra. I feel like I use a lot of Abra one day at this point. Only one thing I do want to use. I know I can use Abra post-game, Eevee.
Yeah, unfortunately Eevee is post-game.
Yeah, I wish I would have been able to use that second, but I don't know. There is a possibility that I might have picked up an Abra. I don't know yet.
Well,
it depends on how the other layout of the rest of the members go.
Yeah, your team's still a work in progress. There's a few set in stone just like mine, but there's also some that are either not available right now, some are only in post-game, and some are just not in the Pokedex.
Yeah, like I can give you a little bit of a spoiler, because you're not going to see it for a while anyway. Two team members that I've really contemplated using, and I know this is going to sound so stupid, but it's something I really wanted to do. I want an electric type, and I want a fire type. I was going to use Magmortar and Electrify, both in tandem.
In tandem? So you want me to trade you an Electabuzz?
Yes.
Well, I'll gladly do that. But with these trainers now done, talking to the boy again gets you a little reward in the form of TM10, which used to be a hidden power which they would actually use in the original Diamond and Pearl, but in this game they actually changed the moves to Work Up, which is a pretty good move for this point in the game, since the Work Up is a move that raises your attack and special attack at the same time. It is pretty useful, and you can use it for the long game as well, but it's not something I'll be using, at least not right now. One thing that is important to know though is, in these games, TMs are back to being single use, so you can't just put them on every single Pokemon anymore. But they do give you 3, which is understandable for this point, but you can get more later on, so you have to be mindful of how you use them and what you want to use it on. But after going back to heal, we can finally talk to our rival and give him the package that his mom wanted us to give to him. And the item that it turns out to be is a town map. The town map is actually a little bit changed from how it used to be in the original game. Back then, it would have to be an item you have to go into your bag to use, but here they actually make it easier and put it onto the menu, which is useful, I guess. Nothing too major since... Say again?
Little quality of life change.
Yeah, that's one of the quality of life changes I mentioned last time. Here we have the entire Cinahl region. It's massive. There's a bunch of twists and turns going everywhere. However, the path we will end up taking is pretty linear, but I will be showing off any of the side areas that I can show off whenever we get to them. But otherwise, the path is rather linear, and many of the more quirky areas, such as the Great Marsh, which I will be showing off as well. Speaking of the Great Marsh, actually no, I shouldn't speak on it because we're gonna go to it later and I'll show it off. Spoilers. Fun time. Kind of. But not really.
A little bit. Depends who you are.
Yeah. Older players will know what I mean. Hopefully.
Oh,
But with the town map, we kind of have a first objective now. Barry mentions that the first gym is going to be in Oreburgh City, so that's where we're gonna head as well. Riku, for yourself though, oh, this is gonna be a random question, I know, but what's your take on Jubilife City? Like, what have you always thought about it?
Jubilife City, I've always liked it because it kind of reminds me like downtown, like a downtown city type area, you know what I'm saying? It has like the shops, it has like some schools here and there, but a lot of random like business buildings more than anything. Yeah.
I feel like they could have done a little bit more to the city, but it is a starting city, so we can't really do much. But
yeah, you know what it kind of reminded me? It's like a downscaled version of I forgot the name of the city itself in Gen 2 or the Gen 4 2 remakes. The
Goldenrod?
All the train. Goldenrod. Yeah.
Kind of. It's like a.
It reminds me of a downscaled version of that.
Yeah. But with everything done in the school now, we can move onward to the rest of Jubilife City, and starting with a little short. I want to say a little, not a mini game. It's not really a mini game. But this gentleman here does talk to us about a Poketch, and after talking to him, 2 more clowns will appear around town, and they'll ask you really simple questions about how Pokemon grow, how they evolve, and hold items. The answer to all these questions is yes, so you really shouldn't be failing them. And honestly, I don't really know why they kind of did this, because it's simple. Maybe just for the newer players.
Hey, if you did fail them, don't feel bad. When I first played through that from back in the day when I was 7, I got it wrong. It took me a while to get them right.
You're kidding.
No, I'm so serious. I'm so serious.
I don't mean to laugh at you. I'm just like laughing at the thought of it.
No, I'm laughing at myself. I was oh man, 7-year-old me did not know jack squat about Pokemon.
In fairness, I think you said you were 7 when the time these came out, so.
7 or 8. Yeah.
And even then, when I was that age, I did not even know Pokemon could hold items because I had never played Ruby or Sapphire at that point. And I think they definitely came out when I was 7 or 8 because the original games came out when I was 10. These are Diamond and Pearl when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, so like for the youngins out there, don't feel bad. I went through it.
But with getting all these coupons, we can go back to this gentleman over here and get our very own Poketch. The Poketch is a little bit different than how it was in the original game, but the overall function is pretty much the same. It is a pretty handy tool that you can use to do a pretty big number of things. It's limited right now, solely because this is kind of like a default version, I guess. But over the course of the game, we will be getting more apps that we can add to the Poketch, and we can get more stuff we can see more stuff using it. For now, though, we start with the default apps, like I said. The first is the digital clock, which you can see here. It could be handy if you need to check the time without going to the Nintendo Switch's home screen, which could be useful, but overall you shouldn't really be needing it that much. At first, when I got the Poketch, I had to was fumbling around a little bit because I didn't really know how to actually use it. It also comes with the clock comes with a backlight as well, but you shouldn't really be needing it too much. It doesn't really add anything to it. Nothing changes. But it's a little neat quirk to have. A lot of these apps do have a little neat quirk. Next is the calculator, which I guess you could find some usage for. It beats buying the actual calculator on the Nintendo Switch eShop, which I don't know why. Why would you?
Why?
Yeah, there's an app you can buy for the Switch that's pretty much a calculator. Yeah, I don't know why. In the old DS version, though, this calculator had a little quirk with it, like I mentioned, where if you do like a simple math problem on it, excuse me, if the answer to that little math problem is a number on the Pokédex, like 1 + 1 = 2 or something, if you have Pokemon number 2 in the Pokédex, it would actually sound out the cry or whatever Pokemon corresponds to that. So like a number, yeah, number 2 would be Grotto. You can hear Grotto's cry. After that is a step counter, which tracks how many steps you've taken. There are usage for this, with like tracking how many steps it takes to hatch an egg. Or in the old game, I know there's an actual glitch you can use that specifically was meant for the counter, or it uses the counter, but it could potentially break the game, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. So leave that to the experts. And as for this playthrough, I won't really be using it. This next screen, though, is actually my favorite screen personally, just because of how simple and effective it is, which is the Team Party screen. Here you can see how much HP your team has, if they have any status afflictions, if they're holding any items. Most of the time for this playthrough, you're going to be seeing that screen in the upper right corner. Another neat one of the quirks that you have for this page specifically for this app is that if you tap your Pokemon, you can actually again hear their cry, and they do a little bounce on the screen. It's a little fun thing. It just shows the cooperation for the touchscreen and the DS. Here, since there really isn't a touchscreen, it's meant for this pretty much for the left thumbstick. There are other apps you can get later on in the game as you progress, get more badges and stuff like that, and even from other characters, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Out of all the apps we have, all the I can English. I keep saying this. I can English very well. But out of all the apps we have here, what would you say you used the most time on, Riku?
I don't even think it's on there at the moment, but one where you can keep, like, to track how many Pokemon you caught or how many of a certain species.
Oh, that one. I think I know which one you're talking about. We get that in post game.
Hashtag sign hunting.
Oh, you're gonna see some sign hunting later on in the series for sure.
If you know, you know.
Going into this apartment building though, and if you talk to this lady right here with the Pikachu and Pachirisu next to her, you get an item called the Quick Claw. This item is a bit random, but if you give it to your Pokemon to hold, it can sometimes allow them to move first before your opponent. But if they use a priority move like Quick Attack, you will still move second even if the animation for the item does activate. Which is, I want to say weird, but it makes sense gameplay wise because they have advanced priority with those attacks. But Quick Claw gives you priority. But I think the algorithm of this game does settle that out by giving the attack more priority. I will put it on Kricketot though because he is the slowest team member right now. But because he is a temporary team member, it won't be on him for too long. But talking to NPCs is important because they can give you items and other useful things like Poketch apps, which I also described. So it is good to talk to as many people as you can, and even if they don't give you anything, you can learn a few things about the lore of this game and even about what the objective is that you're currently doing. Over here, this guy by the fountain here will ask if you know about groups. This is an aspect of the Sinnoh games that nobody really talks about, though in fairness it was never really used that much at all. But yeah, I'll make my own group. The name of this group may be a bit odd to everybody who's watching here, but my friend Riku here will definitely understand the context of it. And the name of this group that I put here is Dark Star. And I feel like you'll definitely understand the context.
For those who didn't know, boy over here, JJ.
Nope, don't stop. Nope.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug, but let's not.
That's it. That's as much as I'm saying. He writes stuff. Shameless plug.
Okay.
Find that yourself.
But moving on from that, there isn't really much left to do here in Jubilife for the time being. So I'm gonna take a second to rearrange my team over here. I'm gonna put Chimchar in the front. It is good to rearrange your team just to make sure you have whatever you want ready for battle first thing. That's a fairly simple rule of advice, but it always helps to go back to basics. Just like going back to the trainer school. Now with that done, we can finally head east to Route 203. And as soon as we go into here, I do recommend saving here just in case, because we have Barry waiting for us. And Barry here wants to battle. This is actually the first rival battle in Diamond and Pearl. In Platinum, you actually battle him as soon as you get your starters, which is fairly standard for most Pokemon games. There's only a few exceptions to that, but we're only playing Diamond and Pearl right now. The rival battle right here is pretty, I wouldn't say standard again, but it's pretty simple for the most part. All he has is a Starly, which shouldn't be which shouldn't be too hard of a challenge. We've battled a few Starly already. It is a bit higher leveled, but it's not going to be too different from what we've seen. It's just a Starly. It should know Quick Attack at this point, which can be dangerous, but for some reason he doesn't use it here. Either he doesn't actually know Quick Attack and they just forgot to... They probably didn't forget to add it. They most likely didn't do it to have it be decreased difficulty, because this is the first rival battle in this game. Yeah. If for whatever reason he actually does know Quick Attack and he's just not using it, and if you're struggling, You can actually go back down south to Route 202 and get a Shinx, because they can learn Thundershock, which makes things worlds easier.
That's super fast.
Once Starly is down though, he's gonna send out his starter, which for me is Piplup. If you chose Chimchar like me, you can also use a Badoo or a Shinx, just like Starly, to have the type advantage and make things really easy. If you chose Piplup and he has a Turtwig, like how Riku's gonna have, you can use. What'd you say? Yeah, Turtwig like Riku. You can use Kricketot and have him learn Struggle Bug to make it easier to take down his Turtwig. Although you should be careful because Kricketot is a bug type and he's not going to be too strong. He has the advantage, but it's still just a bug. If you did choose Chimchar though, I mean if he has Chimchar, there is a Pokemon that you can get that should make it easier, but I honestly don't know if it's going to have a water move at this early in the game, but it can help for some resistance to it. I will not be going over it now, solely because I think I neglected to do it when I was recording this initially, but it can help to go north and either get some more experience, or into another area up ahead that you can get that Pokemon. But as you can see here, there's pretty much I have no difficulty here battling this Piplup, and it should go down fairly easily. One little thing about Barry though, like I really can't help but laugh at this, but I noticed this when I was recording this initially. Barry as a character is hyperactive. He feels to me like he would be really loud, and because of that, he started reminding me of Asta from Black Clover, which I've been watching recently. So this playthrough has references to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Asura's Wrath, and now Black Clover. So yeah, as you can see, I'm a massive geek. I mean, I guess? But yeah, he's gonna be the Pokemon King! I mean, he's one of the strongest rivals in this whole series. Not even gonna front you on that one. Barry was actually during when Diamond and Pearl came out, or I believe when Platinum came out, he actually took from Red the title for being the highest level trainer until Heart Gold Soul Silver. He had it only for one game, but he was at one point the strongest trainer.
That says something.
But now that we've beaten Barry, we can continue going through this route. The encounters here for the most part are pretty much the same as all the other routes we've been through so far, with one exception being Abra, and we battled Abra earlier, so if you want to catch one for yourself now, you can. The only thing though is that the Abra here only know teleport naturally, so you have one chance to catch it before it runs away. I will be covering how you can get another Abra later on, but if you want to catch one for yourself, you can do so right now. When it comes to this route though, again, it feels like more, when I say more of the same, I mean it not negatively, but it's more experience for what's coming ahead. And with how this game is, with Kricketot specifically, it's nothing too serious, but early game bug types tend to evolve earlier, and the level Kricketot evolves in is level 10, which he is coming up on, and since bug types tend to evolve early, they get good stats for early game. There is another bug type that does work well in early game, which comes in a little bit later when it's a bit tougher to use, in my opinion, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For the time being though, I do want to give my boy Riku here a shameless plug, because he's also hunting Turtwig in Shining Pearl, like I keep saying.
Yeah, it's been going day 5 now, guys. It's been going on, and now it's Thanksgiving Day, and we're still here.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving Day by the time we record this. Record this voiceover, I mean.
We're still here. It's going on 160 right now, 160 encounters that I can remember, because I've been doing this for the past 5 days myself.
He's been doing it since the release date. No luck yet, but he hasn't given up hope. So 500% minutes. Believe me, I know how it feels like to be stuck on a hunt. I've been hunting Regice and Sword and Shield since summertime. I keep bringing it up, but it's breaking me.
While I'm being plugged out here, just want to say shout out to the comment section, shout out to all the viewers. And what do you guys have for Thanksgiving? What's on the dinner plate?
If you guys do celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday with your family and friends. Hope you're having some good food. And if you'd like to share some with us, not the food, but you can share what you're saying what you're having in the comments. And if you're enjoying the series, feel free to like and subscribe. I'm not ending the episode yet, I swear. There's a little bit more to go. Speaking of Thanksgiving food though, what would you say is your favorite? Because I don't think I've ever actually tried cranberry sauce. Now to think about it.
No, I've never tried cranberry sauce. Well, my favorite, honestly, is the same thing on Netflix every year. It's Salvadorian style chicken sandwich.
Oh my god, yes. It's been a minute since I've had those sandwiches too.
I'm gonna make a bad pot.
Bruh.
I'm smacking down later today, I'll say that right now. I'll be streaming, I'll be smacking down some chicken sandwiches, mashed potatoes, and baked mac and cheese that I made.
I'm about to head over to your place, Jesus Christ. I'm about to go to your place and get a sandwich.
I don't want to get a football sandwich, get a sandwich.
Yo, bet? I mean, also I want to give a shout out to my coworkers because I had work yesterday and we all brought in some food. Some of them make some damn good food. My boy Brian, he brought in some lasagna. That shit was bomb.
Lasagna always slash, yeah.
There was also some yams that Jose brought in from Boston Market. Those are good as hell too.
Yo, Boston Market I feel like is underrated, yo.
Comment section, what's your favorite is it I don't want to say Boston Market is fast food. I don't think it is.
No, I was just considering comfort food.
Well, okay, so chat, what's your favorite kind of food in general? Thanksgiving, specifically for Thanksgiving, but you can put in any kind of food that you prefer. Because good food brings people together, but man, good food is just too good to pass up. It's good. How many times can I say the word good in 5 minutes?
There's no other way to describe good food other than good.
Good. Ah, man. Having the day off also was really good too. Get some work done, get some videos done. Yep. Because Lord knows I need it. With finals coming up, we need it. Got a little cricket top battle right here. Of course, mine's better. Musica, maestro. I honestly don't know why I started with Struggle Bug. I think it's because I know he also has it as well, and I wanted to weaken it so he didn't use it on me. But then again, he's a lower level. He uses pounds here instead of an actual stab move. So yeah, it's light work. A lot of the early game trainers here, especially with the level we are now, are really no threat. But as I keep saying, it's always good to be prepared because you can never control when they get a critical hit on you, what you can encounter. Maybe you're just not prepared for a battle. So always make sure you save often, have enough items ready, and make sure your team is healthy. Because only you can prevent lost save data.
Remember that.
And forest fires, but we hopefully won't deal with that. Now, as you can see here, with the end of this battle, our Kricketot has reached level 10, and as I said earlier, most bug types tend to evolve early, which is why they're considered useful for the early game. And our Kricketot here has reached enough level to evolve into Cricketune, the meme Pokemon itself. I'm gonna be silent here because this is our first evolution. And there he is. There's our boy. There's our man. There's our man. There's our boy. Now, upon evolving into Cricketune, he also learns Fury Cutter, which is a move that gains power every usage. Now, I didn't get one that in the wild, but in this game, While Kricketot and Kricketune both have a 5% chance of holding an item called the Metronome, which is an item that whenever you use an attack over and over again consecutively, it boosts itself in power. And Kricketune itself also has a hidden ability called Technician, which boosts the power of moves that are below base 60 in power. So you have an ability that boosts weaker moves, an item that makes moves stronger when you use them over and over again, and Fury Cutter, which is an attack that gets stronger each time you use it consecutively. If you put that all together, you have one of the biggest damage dealers for this point of the game. And honestly, I think if you had that kind of strategy this early, you could legitimately take Kricketune to maybe, like, I would say the 4th or 5th gym without any problems. And I really have to thank the Pokemon fan game called Pokemon Reborn for teaching me that trick and showing me firsthand how dangerous and how useful that combination is. As for Pokemon Reborn itself, it is a fan game and I might play it on this channel one day. It's a long game, a really long game, with a dark story for a Pokemon game, and I don't really see it talked about that much anymore. I know some prominent PokeTubers like Shofu played it, but I really want to play I want to show it off for myself and see how you guys all like it. The fan game scene, I feel like, is pretty interesting with stuff like Reborn, Xenoverse, and Insurgents. They were more popular a few years back, but I think it would be cool if more PokeTubers play them today, because I want to see their reactions to it and just see how they handle playing through it. Especially with fan games like Rejuvenation and Desolation, because those are probably my favorites right now. Have you got any favorites, Riku, for fan games?
Rejuvenation. I think that's it right now.
You told me Xenoverse is pretty good, though.
I like Xenoverse too. Xenoverse really good. Xenoverse Rejuvenation and
Uranium?
Uranium.
I played Uranium. It's not bad, but I feel like it doesn't go into, it's kind of like Red and Blue, where it doesn't really reach any kind of deep story until the 3rd gym, which feels late, especially because there's a lot between the start and that point in the game. It's not bad to do that kind of stuff. It's still a fun game, but it just feels off to me, and I don't think I can really go back to it. Maybe one day I'll try to, but not for right now. It's just not for me.
Yeah,
With stuff like Insurgents, Zeta Omicron, Reborn, the story starts right up in your face, and it is not let up from there. You can see how serious things can get, and where the story takes you. I don't want to spoil it too much, because I know there's some viewers who might not have played it. But as you can see here with this battle, Fury Cutter used consecutively can do big damage, even to Pokemon that are normally strong against bug types, like Starly here was a flying type, and normally bug attacks would do nothing against it, but if you build up power, it can just sweep right through people. And with the, again, going back to this game, after this battle we'll have our whole team at level 10, so with a team this balanced, for right now at least, I think it would probably be beneficial to switch back to Chimchar for being the lead Pokemon. He does have a bit more experience again because he's been with us the longest, but it feels right to have our starter be the strongest Pokemon because he's the leader of the squad. Yeah, it's always, he's the ace. Now that he is also getting up in level 2, I do also want to bring up the fact that the movesets again have been changed for the Force Form starters, and Chimchar here is actually close to learning its new move. I'll go more into detail about it specifically when we learn that move, but again, since he is level 10, he's going to be far above whatever these trainers have, so it's not going to be an issue for whatever we're going to deal with for the time being. It's not until a little bit further on that we're going to have the actual serious battles. We also picked up a Rappel, which is a pretty useful, very useful item that I do recommend getting and buying more of. it can do what the name says. It can repel wild Pokemon for a certain amount of time, which is about 100 steps, which isn't actually that great in the long term, but for right now it'll be a really good item, especially when we get the upgraded versions like the Super Repel and Max Repel. But we'll get to those when we get to those. It's going to be a while, but we will get them eventually. And here we can see just how much above we are these other trainers here in the routes. We have a level 10 starter with a level 5 starter. These trainers don't really pose a threat, which is funny because apparently they say, the trainers here themselves, they say that they have a gym badge, which I don't think they can actually legitimately be badge owners, because how can you be a gym leader with a level 5 starter? And a level, what, 5 Bidoof? There's one trainer who has a Machop, which I think he also says he has a gym badge, which I can believe. It's a low-level Machop, but he has an attack that actually works. Yeah, level 5 Bidoof. How are you gonna be the gym leader with a Bidoof? Okay, no, I think I found the strategy. They spam Growl so they do no damage, and then they just wait all PP to make them struggle.
That's probably the fact.
But even then, they'd be above level 5, so it makes no sense. But then again, why are we trying to put logic into an NPC trainer?
Yo, big facts, yo.
This game has weird dialogue, but it's standard for Pokemon games. What are you gonna do? Yeah, see right here, the trainer has a Machop. He has an actual chance of beating the gym leader. We keep saying this, even though we haven't really said what the gym leader uses, but for veterans who know this game, obviously they know what's coming up later on. And speaking of, for those of you who actually have this game and have been playing it, what's your team been so far? And if and out of all your team members, what would you say is your favorite? For my team so far, obviously, I can't go wrong with Chimchar. He's one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Fernip is one of my favorite Pokemon. I would say top 3, for sure. What about you, Riku? What would you say is your favorite Pokemon, either on your team or of all time?
Of all time, to me it's always been a tie. It's always been a tie between Torterra and Cinahl. But for this game, we're talking about this gen specifically, I would probably have to say my favorite Pokemon of this game. I'm gonna have to give it to Mike Mortar.
Mike Mortar?
He's got a cannon for an arm.
You right.
That's Mega Man.
I don't know why our minds both went to robots, but he thought of Mega Man, I thought of Cyborg from Teen Titans.
Either way, it worked. And he got a cannon for an arm. That's what's fine.
Right here in Oreburgh Gate, though, we're immediately met with this hiker here who gives us the TM for Rock Smash, and a new app for the Poketch, brand new for this game, which is the HM move, which allows us to use HM moves in the field. The only problem with these, though, is that you have to actually have the gym badge to use these HM moves. So I will be showing that off later on when we have the gym badge. But for right now, we're kind of unable to use it. As for Rock Smash itself as an attack, though, it's low power, but it can lower defenses, and it actually is really useful for the first gym, but it's not really a move I would recommend using for the long term. If we were mentioning Technician as well, since it's a base 40 power move, it actually is boosted by Technician, so it can be pretty useful to have on a Technician Pokemon like Kricketune if it actually did have Technician. But it doesn't have it, so what are we gonna do? We gotta live with it. Even then, Rock Smash, I wouldn't really put it on Kricketune anyway. It's not a bad move. I don't think it can even learn Rock Smash.
I don't think it can.
I actually think it can, but even then, like I said, I wouldn't give it to it. Nor would I give it to my starter either.
Smash or rock? That's absurd, bro.
Fire, 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 fire. Rock, 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 rock. If you get that joke, you're good. You're awesome. You have good taste.
Got a good shot.
You say that, and it's like, god damn, we're old now. It's been over 10 years since this game came out. Diamond and Pearl came out on the DS. How long?
Like 15.
Because it came out 2006 in Japan. So yeah, it's been 15 years. Jesus Christ. Black and White came out 11 years ago. Oh god, no. Don't ask for Gen 5 remakes, so if you do, we have to get Gen 6 remakes, then Gen 7 remakes, then Gen 8 remakes.
Just end it at Gen 4.
Super Double Dynamax. That's gonna be the new,
Stop! No, let that shit burn. Let it burn.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really mind Dynamax. It's not the best mechanic, but it does help with, it can turn the tide of battle easily, or just push an already winning trainer to win. It can push an already winning trainer to win. What is my grammar today? If you already have the advantage, you can further that advantage. Is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, no, I got that.
I do English every not at all.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Psyduck. This is the Pokemon I was mentioning earlier. During the rival battle, saying if the rival has Chimchar, you can actually go further up north into a certain cave. It's a rare encounter there, but you can find wild Psyduck, and I believe it also learns Water Gun fairly quickly. If it doesn't, you should have it by the first gym badge. And that's a Pokemon that I believe Regal here would have used if he's not using another Water type.
Yeah, fuck the Psyduck.
If you don't mess with Psyduck, then you're fake.
100%. Gotta fuck with Psyduck.
Going up into Orebrick City, though, we have a local who's kind enough to show us where the gym is. So he'll take us right over to it. But as we can see, looks like Barry is waiting for us. There's someone there, he says. But as rude as this is gonna sound, I think we're gonna ignore Barry for a while. We're gonna keep him waiting so we can go find the Pokemon Center to go heal, because I think we actually did a lot today. We went through the entire route, we went through Orebrick Gate, had a rival battle, talked about what's going on with ourselves for the holiday. So, I think I'm going to call it a day for now, and next time we're going to explore Orebrick City and see what there is to see. Later.